Hi, I'm Suki.
And I'm Claire.
Welcome to Getting Psychic, where you can listen to us use ourselves to test the theory that anyone can get psychic.
Hi, Suki.
Hi, Claire.
So here we are.
Here we are. How's it going?
Well, the second chakra has been kicking my ass.
I know. Me too.
Yeah, it's, there's, these guys 3 and below, they're tricky. It's all the like here on Earth shit.
Yeah,
getting
it's so
through
true.
it all.
It is wild. We were riding high on chakra 1, feeling like on top of the world.
Well, I don't know if I would say I felt on top of the world with chakra 1, but I at least was like, okay, well,
we were excited about it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not excited about chakra 2, but it's like so insanely important, and I think that's why it's all like gnarly feeling. I mean, because it's like, well, I'll get into like doing the meditation because that was actually great and fine, but
Good.
It's just the recognition that we are constantly navigating issues of the second chakra because it has everything to do with our relationships to others.
And our feelings.
And our feelings about it. And our feelings of power. And our feelings of fear. And our fight or flight. And what power we give up. What power we take. And trying to create this balance in this duality. Between like being open and being scared to be open.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has been betrayed. Everyone has been traumatized. Pretty much all women and a whole lot of men have been sexually assaulted. Every single power structure is here, and power structure between two people is here in this chakra. And it's, it like any type of relationship that you have with another like single human being, it's all flowering out of this. And every single human that you have a relationship with is teaching you something. And so it's important and it's great, but it's like, man, how do we keep growing from it? I mean, we both have like really amazing, beautiful partners that we love and adore, but whoo-wee, can we still hit up against second chakra shit? It's intense.
Yeah, totally. One thing that I've been thinking about as we've been diving into this sacral chakra is that although we talked about the root chakra and sort of when it starts to develop, all of the chakras are interacting with their kind of assigned parts of our bodies and our lives all throughout our lives. It's not as if it's only the fact that I was really bullied as a child is the only problem that's ever going to occur in my sacral chakra. But those like can create things like traumas like that can create energetic imbalances that are an indicator that we can, work to balance and heal from it. But it doesn't mean we're like golden. People like energy healers really amazing people that I know are constantly rebalancing their damn chakras. It's not a finite practice. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there.
No, it's not like one and done.
Yeah. It's not like clean up all this gunk that's left over from when you were 6 and you're cool. It's not like that at all because everything's always accumulating, but we want like a healthy foundation with which to receive more stimulation and information, right? Speaking of stimulation, the second chakra is associated with our genitals.
And you love the correct word.
I do. Testes, ovaries.
Which are ovaries, which testes are ovaries.
That's right.
Because every tiny embryo, it starts out female. And then when the Y chromosome comes in, if it comes in, those ovaries drop and become balls.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, fundamentals. The location of your sacral chakra or your second chakra, this was a surprise to me in my research, lies a mere 3 centimeters above your first chakra. It's right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right on top of your root chakra. So,
it's above the taint.
that's right. Let's bring the taint back. Let's keep it in the conversation. For perspective, your first chakra, which governs physical survival and security, is anchored in your coccyx. Your second chakra is between your coccyx and the sacral and 2 inches or so under the navel. The second chakra,
which makes it really big. Hold on.
Go.
I'm just going to throw this out
there. It's a big one.
This is one of those things where I'm like, okay, our root chakra, it's at the perineum taint, it's at the coccyx. And then the second chakra is where your sacrum is, which is right above. But then your sacrum, and your
navel,
belly button, yes, navel. I mean, I feel like that's lower. I feel like that would be more like 4 inches. Because if you can hold your sacrum, you can put your hand on your sacrum.
Yeah, you're saying the distance between the root and the sacral and the solar plexus is way different, right?
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess if you think of the body as let's say you have your hand with your palm, the bottom of the booty, assuming that you've got a booty, and then your hand, you would be holding a dick. And so imagine that if you have your hands on both sides, you're holding it creates a lotus. I feel like the second chakra is not as high as 2 inches below the navel, or it's fucking gargantuan, because the amount of organs in that space.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's energetic, so it's not actually taking up space, but as far as I'm concerned, it's where your uterus
is. It is.
Or your bladder, or your prostate, which is really pretty fucking low. Touch your pubic bone.
Right now?
That's, yeah.
Will do.
Will you touch your pubic bone for me? Here I go. Everyone touch your pubic bone. Touch the top crest of your pubic bone. As far as I'm concerned, that's where your second chakra is. Which is really far from your fucking belly button.
The second chakra is your emotional base. In the Cyndi Dale Sacral Chakra book, it says, it received Kundalini from your first chakra to activate your emotional and sensual powers and needs, providing you the depth of empathy, intimacy, and compassion. I find it really interesting that, especially lately, I've been going through so many big upheaval, stress, crazy things with my jobs, that the mind connection with, I mean, they say that your second mind is in your intestines, but that feeling of just unrest that you get in your gut when you think of something that triggers anxiety is so profound. And I think that I've taken it for granted all of my life, that without observing like how insane it really is that you can physically experience your emotions, right?
Yeah. I mean, like for me, like my shoulders will get super tense and like shaking a little bit. Like when I get
Yeah.
anxiety, like I don't feel anxiety in my gut.
You don't? Because lately it's so automatic. It's like a wave of like, bleh, like a weird,
Oh, that will happen when I'm all of a sudden when I go into like if something scares me or if I'm all of a sudden like you might be in danger, then it'll be like "Ugh,"
yeah. I
like
feel
punched
like,
in the gut kind of feeling.
yeah, I feel like I've been having that experience on repeat because I've like the handful of things that I'm dealing with make me feel extremely vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
in my
Totally.
businesses. And I'm like, I'm not safe. And then I have that. And it's just like
Right.
so instant. And then I just have to like ground myself over and over again, like to make it go away. But did you feel like in trying to meditate, how was your experience like trying to meditate with your sacral chakra?
Well, I would try and do something and it wouldn't shut me out. It would just sort of start doing what it wanted, which that I'm like, okay, do whatever you want. Whenever I would try and go into it, all of a sudden it was like the energy wanted to come in through the back and out through the front of the
Oh,
chakra.
interesting.
And then it would like spin down my leg.
Okay. Did you see that as like a positive thing?
Well, I definitely didn't see it as a negative thing. I just was more observing it, of being like, oh, but that's where grounding is. So if it's clearing anything, it's going to go, through
Yeah.
down to the earth. It wasn't like I didn't have any of our crazy visiony experiences with it.
Yeah, me neither.
It was more connecting, like it would connect then up to my brain. Like it seemed to be doing a thing on its own. And the more I was doing reading about the chakra and listening to stuff, I realized how much of my second chakra was clear in that last ayahuasca ceremony I had. Which I can't remember if we talked about my that. I mean, I know I brought it up in our first recording, but we deleted it because it was traumatic for anyone that was. But I don't know if we'd actually ever talked about it. But this is the place to talk about it if we have. It's an intense chakra. Like it has all of the things in it that can really brutalize us.
Yeah.
It's like it has all of our creativity and all of the fruition. It's the beginning of our identity
Mhm.
and how we hold our power and how we create a balance, with our power versus other people's power. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a wild, intimate place that it opens like when you're 7, which is when you first really start engaging with other people as your own kind of human, not attached maybe to your mom constantly.
Yeah, this is hard for me because I've looked up and I've heard conflicting information about this all over the place. In the Cyndi Dale book, it says that it starts developing really early, like obviously overlapping with the root chakra, like 6 months of age.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then if like if I just look it up right now, I'll get like let's see. Okay, so now if I look it up, it's saying the energy fields of the sacral chakra develop between the ages of 8 and 14. This coincides with the timing when we are just beginning to be introduced to ourselves, which aligns with what you said. And
Mm-hmm.
I have also read way earlier. But that's kind of why I
Hmm.
said I feel like it's not as if I don't think it's concrete.
I agree. It's not concrete. I mean, it's the same thing with when I was looking up planets and all the chakras. They're fucking all over the place.
Right.
Like it was actually infuriating.
But it's
So,
like it's not concrete, and it's almost like that's why I brought up earlier, like, they're not it's
mhm.
not like at 14 it's done.
No, never.
It's
Right, totally.
so it's kind of a more fluid thing. So it is really hard to like peg down, but
I also imagine that a kid that is like put into a position where they have to grow up very, very quickly, the second chakra probably engages. I feel like, I mean, I think it's weird to consider that, like, we're not, like, when I first read in Cyndi Dale that, like, oh, the first chakra happens between this age and this age. And I'm like, wait, they're not all just in us?
yeah.
And we, like, in my mind, I'm like, why wouldn't they all just be in us and they just, like, develop differently? Like, a whole lot of people do not have a developed 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Totally.
They still have them though. They're just not, I mean, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess the only reason I brought up the 7 is when I read it, I was like, oh, that's interesting that that's when you do start, having this communication with people about like you and what you're into and pushing the boundaries and figuring out what you want your inner response to be to the world
Yeah.
outside of yourself.
So I love this part about the second chakra. If you are an energy sponge, like like anything, it's like twofold. A second chakra could allow you to be super intuitive and access knowing whether or not someone else is lying to you. Some people listening will be like, I always know. I feel that is the case. But it can also, on the other side, when it's like malaligned, you could be an energy sponge to a degree that is so detrimental and not know it. Like we were talking earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you are having really strong feelings and you have to stop and try to figure out if they're your own or not, because you might have that situation where your body has the ability to just pick up on other people's anxiety so profoundly that you're really affected by it.
Eric and I have always had that, like, since we were in our early 20s, where our emotions, like what we were feeling energetically, the other just would take.
Yeah.
Which would clear, like, if he was really pissed off, I would just sort of take it. And then randomly, like, an hour later, I am fucking pissed about something and he's fine. And I'm like, God damn it. We have to stop doing this.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it happens, like I work pretty hard to not have like anxiety that I can't navigate. And the other day I was like, I am so fucking anxious. And then with talking with him, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
most of this isn't mine.
It was his.
Right. And so then just having to be like, right. Get rid of whatever isn't mine.
Yeah, that is.
I still have anxiety, but it's not in the magnitude that it was.
For sure. I remember times throughout my entire life where I can be sitting in a car with someone and I can pinpoint the second that they become anxious, because it's out of nowhere. It's not in conjunction with anything that I'm thinking or experiencing. And the side of me that is nearest the person just radiates with anxiety. And it took me a long time to figure out that, one, that's not great. but that was what was happening. Now I know. And to the degree where I will say, are you okay? If I experience it in that way. But I had this reading with Jude Lynch for the co-host of Spirit Speakers like last April. And she is incredible, and the way that she works is totally using the chakras. And her evaluation of my second chakra was, she was like, it's okay in the front, but it is blown wide open in the back. And I'm like, she's like, you're an energy sponge and you don't know it. And I'm like, damn it. Like, how do I fix that? So I immediately started doing meditations where I put a door on the back of it and locked it and was like, nothing can come in here. But this, just visualization. But I've been doing that since April, and I can only hope that it is healing. It is so cool and crazy to me that you can like be malaligned in that chakra and just get too much of other people's information, but also there's an area where there's like a lot of the clairs kind of work through there.
Clairvoyant.
Yeah, clairvoyance, clairsentience,
Clairsentient. Yeah.
like you can hone psychic skills and,
Totally.
senses beyond the five senses in engaging your sacral chakra, which makes total sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense, because since it is this place that we are creating from and creating connection from, wouldn't it make sense that you also can create connection, the beginning of creating connection to all of these other senses would be there. So I read in Carolyn Meiss's Anatomy of the Spirit
Yes.
about one of the big things of second chakra is this is like where our ability to choose begins. It's like if first chakra is all, the collective and the tribe.
Yeah.
And second chakra is you start to become an individual and figure out, your desires, your needs, your wants, how you connect to people,
Yeah.
how you receive, how you give. That means that choice is in there. And how we make choices and how conflicting that can be. Every choice that we make, you have to have like some type of like faith or fear in it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and also then there's the intuitive part of like where you just are like, yes, this is correct.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But, fear is such a huge part in this chakra of, the fear to engage, the fear to lose. I don't know. There's so much like dysfunctional relationship and energy that if we have dysfunction in our relationships, this is where it lives, and you're gonna feel it.
Yes.
In this part of your body.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. In the Cyndi Dale book, there's a part that resonated with me because she's just telling the story of a man named John at the time who was experiencing difficulties with his, I want to say like difficulties with his genitals, but he had like, I mean, here's the thing about chakras is that like when you have like problems in your chakras, they can manifest in the area of the body that they're associated with. So if you're always having problems with your bladder, your nuts, your like if you're having issues,
prostate.
Yes, prostate. I think that was the story. He was having like prostate issues, and in her work with him, she just said, "Can you think of a time in your life that was especially complex?" And he told the story of he was the part of the only Mexican family in his neighborhood filled with white people, and he was like severely bullied and thereby filled with shame. And his name was Juan, and because of that shame at a certain point, he changed his name to John, and all of the shame and complexities that went along with that scenario, he was carrying in there. And she said, she made sure to say that, like, of course, he sought medical attention. And with doing this work in the sacral chakra, they were able to alleviate the reoccurring issues that he was having. And he changed his name back to Juan and experienced like pride in his ethnicity and his family. And I thought that it was just really beautiful because, like,
Yeah, that's amazing.
you know, as someone that experienced that shame of being bullied and, just kind of like abused by peers, and, I'm also someone that I feel really empowered and powerful, but I still know that there's work to do because I there are
Of course.
little reminders all the time about how I talk to myself, um, which
Hmm.
is so tricky. That's like, oh, okay, let's let's balance. Let's get in there and see if we can
Right.
continue to like do this healing work. But like,
Yeah. Along those lines, so Carolyn Mice is a medical intuit, so she has done lots of medical work and working with the chakras. And I'm going to read this part. She says, unused, I thought this was fascinating. Unused creative energy or collective conflict may also be expressed as hot flashes.
oh,
In a woman younger than 40, problems with menstruation, cramps, and PMS are classic indications that she is in some kind of conflict with being a woman, with her role in the tribe, with tribal expectations of her. Most
oh wow,
problems with bleeding and irregular periods frequently come from having too much emotional stress combined with the belief that one has no power over one's life choices. One's choices are controlled by others. Bleeding abnormalities are often exacerbated when a woman internalizes confusing signals from her family and society about her own sexual pleasure and sexual needs. For instance, a woman may desire sexual pleasure, but may feel guilty about it or be unable to ask directly for it.
yeah,
She may not even be conscious of this inner conflict. And in this country in particular, our puritanical, fucked up
yeah,
views of like all women should be incredibly sexy, but not ever want sex
yes. Shame on your
is
genitals.
like absolutely, but you better please us. And if anything happens to you,
It's your fault.
you're the reason. Yep. So I mean, it's like for those of us born female, I think that this is something we all instinctually know, but like there is a lack of safety and identity that feels acceptable and freeing without work. So I actually just think that all of us need, I mean, everyone needs to be doing work in the second chakra because all people born male, you guys all were told to not have feelings and and to definitely have power. And so it's like it's this crazy, there's such a duality in there that needs to be balanced. I mean, like the yin yang kind of should live in the second chakra. Like that total balance of the masculine and feminine and of what, of like the internal, the external, the emotional versus, the physical, the being able to receive and give. I mean, that's how you honor your friendships and your relationships, right? You receive and
Ah,
give.
yeah, I love this.
And back to your like, I absorb too much. You're not actually receiving,
Yeah,
you're just getting,
yeah,
and
it's
like,
just being thrust upon me.
right.
I love that because I've been encountering this idea a lot about guardedness and the
Hmm.
inability to ask for things and receive things from others, both in myself
Hmm.
and in friends. Like having this sort of realization, like that's a lack of balance if you feel the need to protect yourself so much that you refuse to make yourself present in any conversation. Like if you're like, oh no, enough about me. What about you? And I feel like that's such a common thing to just deflect and find
Mhm.
it to be so much easier to help other people than to receive help.
Yeah.
But I think that goes back to what you were just explaining. That's in there too.
That's in there too. Yeah, it's crazy. What else? Let me see. What else
I'm definitely going to ask you ideas for meditations for people for balancing.
Mhm.
I do know that the element that rules the sacral chakra is water. So whatever you do it in the bathtub. But I guess water is a good way to incorporate sacral healing.
This was another physical thing that I read that I thought was fascinating because through like my studio, I've had so many clients with fibroids. So to
Mm.
read this, fibroids result from second chakra creative energy that was not birthed and from life energy that is directed into dead end jobs or relationships.
Oh, wow.
Totally. So, like,
Is this Carolyn?
yeah,
That sounds like her.
yeah, totally. Your dead end job and
She's
relationship.
like, this is
She's
how it is.
intense.
She's so intense. There's no flexibility.
I know. None. She's like, what are you, stupid? Yeah, great. Yeah, so what can you do to work with the second chakra?
Given your line of work, you could definitely probably just come off the cuff with a meditation about what could.
I don't like, I don't like, like, okay, everyone, I want you to imagine,
Yeah.
in a like flowery way. And I say flowery intentionally because I do think that in the second chakra, because there's so much in there and it is so intense, just diving in and being like, what's going on in here can be like a lot,
Yeah.
um, or murky. And so I actually think that picturing this beautiful orb of light in the area that your body lets you know the second chakra is, whether it's taking up your entire lower abdomen or just a small part, whatever.
Yeah.
Imagining in it like an orange flower, like a lotus or uh, a rose or a peony or something that's going to open,
Yeah.
putting that in there and breathing with it and just allow it to like send it love, send it support, and allow it to open and show you
Ooh, I
what
love
it
that.
needs and wants, and then just lean into it and believe in it. Let it create something for you because creativity is so incredibly important in this. And I mean, we are all insanely creative creatures, whether it has to do with like banking or, you know, painting or whatever, or singing or talking or writing, whatever you do,
Yeah.
you can add a creativity to it. And I feel like so many of us, because we're not like awesome at it, we just stop it. We don't even do it for ourselves because we're like, well, this is stupid. But I feel like allowing that to unfurl, at least within you,
Yeah.
within that second chakra, and then let it lead you. Like, just set the timer for like 15 minutes and just let it lead you. Your mind can sit there and be like, well, now what's happening? Well, now what's happening? Don't worry about it. Just watch. Just watch
Yeah.
and feel and listen and let us know what happened.
Yeah. That's nice. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, but I also think that like allowing yourself to play into whatever creativity feels good for you is important.
Yeah.
Just doodling and drawing some, like garbage. This is I think this is a really good exercise to do with kids. It's the doodle game. So you just like you make a big doodle on a piece of paper,
Hmm.
just like a squiggle or whatever, and you give it to your kid, and you have them create a different, like create a picture out of it.
That is so weird that
And
you're
so,
bringing that up.
why?
2 days ago with Cy, I was showing him this concept.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's so weird.
When I was little and I was in therapy, because that's how that went. Because that's how Claire started.
Oh boy.
um, my therapist would do that with me. She would, just draw a random
Yeah.
squiggle, and then I would do a squiggle and hand it to her, and she would draw something,
Yeah.
and then
I
we
feel
would
like
talk about them.
I feel like any healing work or anything that we're trying to do in conjunction with art or creativity in any form like magnifies the healing.
Abs-
Even if you're like manifesting or intention setting, like if you are
Mhm.
have creativity in your life in even the smallest way, I think it really amplifies whatever you're trying to do. One
I mean, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I think it's true, and I think that one of the reasons is because you are getting it literally, that energy out of your body. Like, even writing lists. Like,
Yeah.
people are constantly like, well, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. Well, did you write it down? Well,
Yeah.
no. It's like, well, then you're gonna think that list is 5,000 things long, and it's four. It's
Yeah.
four things that you just keep
Yeah.
circling over.
That
So,
is
like,
so
just write
true.
them down. I know, it's bonkers.
Yeah, it
Like,
is like a way of taking energy and putting it some out of your body.
mhm.
That is so weird.
When I would wake up in the middle of the night super stressed out about something, and like my mind would be like, well, how is this going to work, and how is that going to work, and da da da. I realized, like, just get up and go do one thing that you can actually do. Like, if I'm stressed about all these other things, but the only thing I can actually do is pay a bill, then pay the bill and go back to bed.
Yeah.
Because that, like, you're doing a thing instead of just cycling.
Yeah. Get it out.
Get it out.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to add one more some sort of meditation to the list of things to try for your sacral chakra. And that is something that Patty Davis taught me called the sacral dump, which sounds
Awesome.
admittedly sounds disgusting. And it was way less romantic than yours, but I'll balance it out. It's basically just like opening it up and dumping out whatever's inside. And you don't necessarily have to, this is a visualization technique, but you don't necessarily have to like see everything or address everything, but energetically just clearing all the junk out and letting it transmute, or asking or saying anything that is not needed for my well-being can be on its way, kind of thing.
Turn that flower upside down and shake it out.
Yeah. Oh, when you see your chakras, do you have like a shape in mind, or is it a flower, or like what do you see?
No, my chakras are orbs
Light
of
balls?
light.
Yeah.
They're light balls.
My stuff's different every time, but I was just curious. That's cool. One thing I did want to just underline is that so each chakra operates along a different set of frequencies. This band of energy can be distinguished by a particular range of colors and sounds. The sacral chakra serves the subtle energies in the orange spectrum. We talked about this, but your first chakra operates in the red zone. And then when you move up to the third, that manages yellow energies. So,
right.
The sacral chakra is orange if you want to work with that color.
And the frequency is 417 hertz, which you can go onto YouTube. Sound healings are really, really good for chakras. Like sound and colors.
Sound healings are real.
Sound healings are real. Sound and colors are really pretty potent. One of the stones for, I'm gonna hold on, let me pull up my stones. Sacral chakra, the sacral chakra carnelian, tiger's eye, citrine, moonstone, orange calcite, sunstone, amber, and aragonite. I don't know that guy. But I was thinking, have you seen like waist necklaces basically? They're like, it's like a chain, like a necklace that goes around your hips or belly.
Oh, I was like they're made out of garbage or
Yes. So have
it's
you
like,
heard of these
what?
trash? Yeah. No, but like hip necklaces or whatever. I was like, oh man, if you wanted like, if you're like, I need my, second chakra to be like happy, getting
Oh.
like string a bunch of carnelian beads, get a bunch of like stones, orange, beads or whatever, and make yourself a
Yeah.
little hip necklace.
Call it
Soup's
fashion.
fashion.
That's so funny.
I then looked it up, of course, and they exist on Etsy. So they're pretty.
Waist
Uh-huh.
necklaces.
Carnelian
Waistbands.
trash. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could probably get a belt buckle with carnelian.
I know,
that
I was
would
thinking
work.
about that
Okay,
too.
could we talk about this
Yes.
real quick? So every chakra has a stones associated with it and
Mhm.
colors and all this stuff. Like, why do we care? Is it because these certain stones carry frequencies that align with the energy of the
Yeah,
chakra?
so it'll help balance it. Like your body, if it's with you or if it's near it, it will try and match to it. Like I think it like helps it go
Okay.
back into like its blueprint or whatever. Helps clear it and shit.
Okay, that's cool. That's something I always wanted to clarify for everyone, like not take for granted that it's just like use these stones. It's like, why?
Right.
But that makes sense. And now I'll probably start using stones more.
Tape them to your body. No, don't do that. That's dumb. I mean, you can,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, I have manifested with like a stone in my belly button before.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because it's a great holding spot.
It is a great holding spot if you're laying on your back.
If you're trying to work with your solar plexus.
Yeah.
Which is next up in our series.
Yeah, I've put stones on people at the studio. Putting a rock.
Oh, really?
Hey, hon, I'm going to put a rock on your belly. Don't worry about it.
Hey, hon.
Hold still. Just a rock. Oh, boy.
Okay, wait. So I think we should probably start to close up our sacral conversation, but you guys, there's a lot in there.
Much.
Do the meditations. It's just nice to start to think about. Right here it says my favorite part, so I'm going to have to read it. For everyone, the sacral chakra is the key to performing emotional empathy, which is the ability to sense in your body what is happening emotionally with someone else. If this chakra is tuned in, you might be able to tell if someone is happy or sad. You can also distinguish between what they say they are feeling and what's actually occurring inside them.
Bullshit detector.
And then it says how many times. Yeah, it's a bullshit detector. Do you feel like you have that?
1,000,000%. I have an excellent
Me too.
bullshit
It's
radar.
really kind of a bummer.
Why?
Sometimes I feel like I pick up on so easily when people are telling me things that they think I want to hear. And I'm also so blunt that I will often be like, call them
I do it
out.
all the time. Oh my God, totally. Oh.
But it's just like, just shut up. I actually hate that. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear.
Because you totally don't.
I know.
Just tell me what's real, and I get to determine the rest.
I know. It's actually tiring. There are quite a few people that do that to me, and I'm like, oof.
Oof is right.
But for second chakra, or your second chakra is always an accurate judge of what feelings truly exist within another living being. this might lead you to ignore your own feelings in favor of others, which just all that stuff goes back to kind of like the knowledge and the capability of sort of being an energy sponge. Like all of that stuff is there. And actually in this the chakra, the sacral chakra specific book, she actually gives exercises to use to sort of know when to test, like, is this mine or is this someone
that's
else's?
cool.
Which I think would be like a good tool for you sponges out there.
Yeah. I mean, when I was doing all my reading on this, Janet Jackson's Control just kept going in and out of my head because
What?
because it has to do with like your own personal creativity, power, control, like giving away
If you're not going to sing it, I'm not going to understand.
control. Get what I want. Control. Got to have a lot. That? No?
Oh my God. Got it. No, I don't recognize it, but I get why
Janet
now.
Jackson Control?
Sorry.
What's wrong with you?
I mean, so many things. That went right to my sacral chakra. Ouch.
My disapproval of you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do some clearing now that you're abusing me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I took away your authority.
Just kidding. But
right.
I do. But what I am excited about, like, these lower chakras are a slog, you guys.
Serious.
It is. I can't wait to get higher because that just,
man,
it seems easier.
I don't.
But all the earthly burdens are in here.
But I mean, the thing is about the lower ones is working through those and clearing that sludge out enough so that you can really step into the other ones. It's like the other ones are there and you can totally like feel into them, but like the work is down here because we are in the world.
Yeah, it's true.
We're in the world all the time. If we were all just like sitting at home constantly meditating, like we could just do the top ones, but like this is how we navigate the world. This is like 1 and 2, and then 3 is your own personal power.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a quote that I liked. That was like, pause for effect. Well, your first chakra is devoted to the development of your core identity, the place where you get to say I am. Your second chakra adds movement. In other words, you express I am being. So it is so much about being in the world.
Yeah, totally. As an individual versus as part of the group.
Yeah. I think my favorite part in digging into this one that we can start to close out with is just that the Claires that are in there. You know, I know I already talked about it, but I do think probably healing and refining and balancing the sacral chakra will lead me further on my path of getting psychic.
Mm-hmm. I think that I won't go into the entire story, but I had my last ayahuasca ceremony was very clearing of this chakra, which I think led into my elevated Claire's.
Oh, wow. Okay. That scares me.
Why?
Because
I mean, it didn't blow them open. It just like it cleared enough room where I then got to like really like be with myself and like sit with myself and sit with all of that, which allowed me to connect very differently, which allowed me to hear very differently and sense very differently. Like that it's like if all of this, when shit is cleared, it allows you to see and observe so much more and to like listen in so much more not just like take in so much more.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's being like, it's the place where vulnerability becomes a strength.
Yes.
And I think
All right.
that's,
So
yeah,
clear your sacral and get psychic.
word. Or don't, whatever.
That's awesome. Well, we know why we're here. No, that's
Well,
great. I love that. Thanks for having us.
per usual, it was a pleasure.
Yes, that was very fun. Okay, so next time we're moving up. We're moving on it.
You know it. 3. 3 is the magic number.
You gonna do anything good today?
I mean, yeah, I have to like do some work, but
Some worky stuff.
I have worky things.
Samesies.
So everyone, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And what's up 2024? It's going to be crazy, but I actually have like good feelings about it.
You have good feelings about 2024?
Yeah, it's weird.
I'll take
but
it.
I actually am like, I feel like the collective has been punched in the gut over and over again for the past few years. And I feel like individuals are going to start being like, I'm over this shit, and going to start being like, I'm good though. I don't know about all you, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
And that means that the collective will be okay. Lots of elevate the frequency, bitches.
Yeah, let's do that, please.
The more that you have gratitude every single day for whatever you can find it for, literally just list 4 or 5 things that you're grateful for. I don't care how down in, the bullshit you are. Just find them, have gratitude, and move from there. Elevate the shit and make everyone come up to you. On that note,
let's do it.
Peace 2023. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it was a friggin' rough one.
It was. So, but we started this, and that's dope. We started a bunch of things.
What a beautiful thing. Yeah, that is true. This was one of the best, funnest things to come of this wild year. So what a blessing.
Agreed, honey.
All right, until next time.
Until next time, we'll see you in the new year.
Okay, bye, Claire.
Bye, Suki. Mwah.
Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as we did. Be sure to subscribe and follow us wherever you get your podcasts so that you never miss a new episode. If you liked today's episode, please consider leaving a review to help the other psychics find their way here.